Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing awesome out there. Just wanted to do my personal video that I do, once a month or so, once every month and a half, and where I just kind of talk to you guys about what's been going on, what's new, what's to come, kind of recapping the last month or so, all those good things. And of course, I'll start this off by telling you how much I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for a pretty successful summer. It was a weird summer where we had flare-ups in the tropics with Hurricane Beryl. We had some pretty slow periods after Beryl throughout the rest of July. Then we had Debbie in early August. But thanks for the continuous support. You know, one thing you'll notice, one thing I've noticed over the last several months and just a year, that the views with the videos have increased as far as when things are slow. You know, you just got the regulars, so we're starting to get to a point where we have an increased amount of just regular viewers that just tune in even when things are just hunky-dory out there, just slow, easy like Sunday morning, however way you want to put it. So thank you for the people who just tune in every single day, regardless if it's active or not. And, you know, I don't blame you if you just only can tune in when it's active. You know, I've had people just pretty much just say outright that, hey, you know, I tune in during the winter. I only tune in during the tropics, and, you know, I respect the honesty, and I don't take any offense to that whatsoever. But of course, just a special thanks to people who tune in every single day. You guys are truly the core of the channel, so I appreciate it. But speaking of the tropics, speaking of hurricane season, first off, I do want to mention, it doesn't look like we're going to take the H name Helene, which is, you know, we were thinking that was going to become a tropical storm, right, and make landfall this afternoon, either a subtropical storm or a tropical storm. Either way, it would have took a name. But it does not look like it's going to gain a tropical characteristics or subtropical characteristics. So that is my bad for just assuming to put in the titles and the thumbnail, Tropical Storm Helene is going to make landfall. So, you know, anybody that does bother, I wasn't, you know, being, intentional with that, or it was kind of more so the National Weather Service was pretty much forecasting that, the professionals, and honestly thought that it would at least become a subtropical storm. But, you know, it just happens. It's kind of, I wouldn't call it rare, but it's pretty uncommon once you get a PTC, whatever, whether it's 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be. It's pretty uncommon for it not to become a tropical storm. It's almost an assumption that you can make that is going to become a tropical storm. But if you kind of walk outside in the Carolinas today, especially in the central to western Carolinas, you'll notice there's not a true tropical feel out there. And honestly, here in my neck of the woods, you know, it's cloudy. It feels like one of those tropical systems or kind of Gulf storms that you get in October, where it's kind of cooler. You know, for example, here in my neck of the woods in central South Carolina, you know, it's in the 60s. Dew points are in the low 60s. It actually just feels like I wouldn't say crisp, but it actually just feels like a nice fall day out here. Breezy conditions. It's not that bad. It actually is starting to get a little bit warm in my car, so I'm going to open up and get some fresh air here. But yeah, so, you know, we're not going to take the H name unless something changes the 5 p.m. advisory, but I doubt it will. So it looks like the next area to watch is the Caribbean. You know, am I sold on it? No, but that's going to be kind of the next area to watch in the coming videos. But I can tell you, you know, hurricane season, you know, that's why I don't make seasonal forecasts, though. You know, if you remember, I told you guys, you know, I never made any sort of hurricane seasonal forecast back in, like, say, March or April or May. I don't do that kind of stuff. You know, I actually have had a few comments asked over the last couple of videos, you know, Mitch, when are you going to make your winter weather forecast? And if you're a regular viewer, you know that I don't do seasonal forecasts. And that's just for this reason right here. You know, here we are, peak hurricane season. Technically, we're on the second half of hurricane season now, or the second half of the peak date of hurricane season. And, I mean, we hadn't even hit the H name. So, you know, it was supposed to be a hyperactive hurricane season, and here we are, and it's really not. Could something dramatically change to the back half of September and into October? It could. and I think we're still going to go through another several names. You know, we all know that October can be a wild month, quite literally a spooky month in the tropics. It can just be weird, very weird, especially if you live along the Gulf coastline. So we're not done, but it has definitely been different. And I can tell you guys, you know, for me, I've kind of adopted this mindset with my YouTube channel that, you know, I was expecting, honestly, for August and September for it to be extremely busy. Like, I actually had a little bit of anxiety about it back in like late July. And I was thinking, you know, I'm a soccer coach. I'm trying to be a dad, trying to be a husband, trying to do all these extra things. And we're about to enter an extremely busy time with the tropics, with the YouTube channel. It is, I don't know how I'm going to keep up. And it gets like that with the YouTube channel. It really feels like a second full-time job. It really does. Because I work a full-time job. If you don't know, I don't do YouTube or the weather full-time at all. Maybe one of these days I can, but not anytime soon. But anyways, you know, I had a little anxiety about it. I was like, you know, man, this is going to be insane. I don't know how I'm going to keep up. And here we are. Things have been pretty chill. It really has, you know, chill to the point where I haven't even had to make evening videos. Even the systems that we've had have been spread apart. It's not all crammed into one time period, you know, so it's honestly been pretty nice. And I think I can speak for everyone. It's been pretty nice for everyone because, you know, we did just have the hurricane that just hit Louisiana. I'm brain farting the name, Francine. We did just have that, you know, but from what I'm hearing from Louisiana, it didn't do devastating damage by any means, even though it upgraded to a 100-mile-per-hour hurricane at the last second. I think there's a lot of people that are struggling finding winds that actually supported a Category 2 hurricane. So it's pretty wild stuff after the, you know, the post analytics of the analysis of the storm. So pretty wild stuff there. But all in all, guys, you know, it hasn't been super active, not as active as they were forecasting. So it's been a nice breath of fresh air. Here we are. I think our soccer season's about to be done in about a week and a half. So that's about done. So I can tell you guys, I'm really looking forward to the fall season. Me and my wife have actually been talking today about, you know, going up to the mountains for a day. I do have a trip planned in October, kind of a guy's trip. But I think I'm going to take my girls up to the mountains of North Carolina just to see some peak fall foliage for a day or something like that. And then we got a big trip in late November too that I'm really looking forward to. But honestly, guys, I've gotten kind of just not, you know, when I say this, I don't want you guys to think I'm not ready to bust it loose when I need to provide information with the tropics for you guys. But I've really kind of just gotten relaxed, honestly. And I'm starting to really think, this isn't a prediction, and I'm starting to really think it's just never going to get super active this hurricane season. I really am. So, you know, you got some sarcastic comments in the YouTube channels. It's like, what happened to all this hyperactive forecast that was predicted, this, that, and the other? And I know that's just purely driven off sarcasm. It's not an actual question. It's just a poke fun. But all I can answer with is, hey, you know, I never made a hurricane forecast. I never did. I think it goes back to a lot of people. They'll watch other people's YouTube channels and then they'll kind of group everybody's YouTube channel into one and then kind of lash out on everybody. And they forget where they actually got that information from. But I mean, I do admit, I thought it was going to be a pretty active hurricane season. I mean, all the variables were there. Everything was pointing to it. And it still could end up being considered an above average hurricane season, but hyperactive, I don't think so. But outside of that, I do ask for prayers for my wife. It has been, I'll just leave it at this. It's been a big adjustment for her. She doesn't really want me to talk too much about it. But just asking for prayers for my wife being a teacher. I mean, 4th grade is a brutal first year teaching grade to do. I think that anybody that knows about that grade group and knows about that, so she's adjusting. It's just a huge adjustment period for her. And she's just kind of, some days she struggles, some days, you know, she feels that rewarding feeling from it. But, you know, she's definitely it kicks her butt some days. She's exhausted, she's tired, and but outside of that, guys, life is good, God is good, and I just want to make this video for you folks. Thanks for the continuous growth. I mean, it's just been steady. It really has. So I'm starting to look forward to winter. Honestly, breaking down winter storms and stuff like that. Kind of getting to the point where I'm almost over talking about the tropics. But you know, that's not going to make me stop talking about it, as you know. So storm chasing has been weird for me this season, guys. You know, you guys know that I storm chase a little bit, but I've had no real desire to storm chase. I mean, I just haven't, and I don't know if I'm starting to lose an interest in storm chasing. I don't know what it is. I just kind of follow my feelings with that, but you know, just haven't had a real big interest in that lately, but that'll change, I'm sure. But yeah, guys, that's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in with this. Love you all. Appreciate y'all. You guys know I can't talk half the time, so I appreciate you all very much. Love y'all. Thank you for the support, and yeah, I'll talk to you in the morning.